Sound nice? Good morning. This is, my friends, the day the Lord hath made. So let us rejoice. Raise our voices in song. And as I said last week, if you want to raise your body out of the chair, you go right ahead. Sunday morning, and here we are, coming together from near and far. Unity, oh, for you and me. I've got family waiting for me. Every Sunday I'm glad to see. Unity, oh, for you and me. Sunday, this is our very unity day. We're here where we belong with all of our family. We're here to for you to be. The sun is shining and I am too. I feel so happy, how about you? Unity, and for you to me. We're so grateful that love abounds with our brothers and sisters all around me. Unity, and for you to me. My, we're so happy it's Sunday. This is our very own unity day. We're here where we belong with all of our family. We're unity for you and for me. We're unity for you and for me.
Thanks so much, Jim. There's nothing like a rousing start to our service. Welcome to everyone. It's so great to see all of your shining faces today, and we welcome all our friends on Zoom as well. We're going to light the Christ candle. It represents the light that we share in the world, and I call on Noemi to come and light the candle for today. Thank you so much. The power for April is love, and it is the color pink. Love flows through me to bless others. And as Jim's song says, welcome home. And we do have some visitors today. Welcome to you as well. And we've already given them a guest package, so they can learn a little bit more about us. There's a lot of basic information about Unity and Unity of London. We celebrate the spirit of abundance, love, and life in our community. We offer mutual support and a meaningful connection as we transform our lives together. As we grow together, we learn the joys of giving as well as receiving, and the result is evolving peace. Our 5 principles. Please join me in affirming aloud. God is all good and active in everything, everywhere. 2, I am naturally good because God's divinity is within me and everyone. 3, I create my experiences by what I choose to think, what I feel and believe. 4, through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life. 5, I do my best by living the truth I know. I make a difference. So how do we make a difference? Well, when I practice the change, maybe it's just a smile or a kind word, paying attention to someone who looks kind of forlorn, volunteering my time to help out, I'm inspiring people to make a positive change in the world. People with passion can change the world for the better. Be the change. We coexist with others by honoring their path. Everyone has their own. But we provide fellowship and education for interested spiritual seekers from all walks of life. And now we're going to have another song by Jim and Nancy. Very good.
You said earlier that this was from the Gospel of Matthew?
Matthew 7, verses 7 and 8. And if anybody knowing the order of the song was changed by the hippies of what they're doing. And it fits in with Chuck's theme last week of love. Love comes trickling down. You know, when something trickles down, it can get into the heart places, through any cracks, anywhere. So this is the song. See, and you shall find, knock and the door shall be open. Ask and it shall be given, and love will take you. Let's do that again, okay? See, and you shall find, knock and the door shall be open. Ask and it shall be given, and love will take you. My brother, spirit is here now. My brother's spirit is here now. My brother's spirit is here now. And love will take you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be open. Ask and it shall be given, and love will take you. My sister's spirit is here now. My sister's spirit is here now. My sister's spirit is here now, and the love will take you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be open. Ask and it shall be given, and the love will take you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be open. Ask and it shall be given, and the love will take you.
That was fabulous, wasn't it? So much fun. As we move into our prayer time, I invite you to remember our dear friend Dorothy Howell, who transitioned peacefully at home last Sunday. We will miss her bright smiles, her warm hugs, and her love of music. Dorothy served on the board of directors, led the fish group in a pottery session, and made the most delicious dessert for our events. I deeply admire Dorothy for continuing the book study and other things with handwritten notes after she lost the ability to speak. Please keep Dorothy and her family in your prayers. Silent Unity, available at 1-800-NOW-PRAY, also 669-7729. Has phone lines open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and a very kind volunteer will pray with you. I've done this several times, and it has been very moving and very helpful, and I encourage all of you to try it when you're in need or just because. We have our own prayer box here at the front. Place a first name or names on the note and place it in the box. Spirit knows the need, so you don't have to elaborate. Prayer requests are prayed over here for a week and then sent on to Silent Unity, where they are prayed on for another month. I invite our prayer chaplains, Dawn, Nancy, Lindsay, to join me at the front. We affirm that we are all one in spirit. We also know that those named in the prayer box and those requesting prayer are held in love. We pray for their highest and best good, which is now unfolding. Thank you. For prayer here at Unity today, we have Dawn in the building. She'll be wearing her prayer stole the way she is now, and will be around, and you can attract her attention, and she will be more than happy to pray with you in the front room. Online, we have Wilda, and you can request a breakout room with Wilda, and she will pray with you. I really encourage you to try this if you haven't already. It's very meaningful. For month of April, we are praying for ourselves, Unity of London, as well as Unity New Westminster, British Columbia. And now we go into prayer. Close your eyes. Relax into your chair and breathe. When the earth feels chaotic, we know that it is time to return to the peace of spirit. As we spend time in the silence, our thoughts dissolve and our heart opens. In this place of perfect stillness, there is only peace and love. As we return from prayerful stillness, we return to our activities. The world has not changed, but we have. Let's go forward to meet life with calmness and love. Amen. We welcome today's platform assistants, George Wilson, who will read the daily word, and welcome our speaker.
Thank you, Lorraine. Good morning. The word for today is blessed. I am blessed with peace, calm, and the love of God. Today, hello? Okay. Today, if someone asks me how I am, I will smile and respond, I am blessed. This simple declaration will set the tone for the day, encouraging me to notice blessings large and small, especially the little things I may take for granted. I will also be mindful that God is the source of all my blessings. I find my greatest blessing is in the grounding myself in God's grace. It brings the peace, calms my fears, and is a bright guiding light in dark and difficult times. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus described the blessings of life, reminding those gathered that the truest wealth is not measured by money and power. I take these words to heart and feel deeply grateful. I am spiritually blessed, especially by God's unwavering love. And from Matthew chapter 5, verse 8, blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Our speaker today is Wendy Karr. Wendy joined Unity in 1984 and received her licensed Unity teacher status in 2000. Wendy has been a facilitator of Unity's courses for over 25 years, specializing in Bible understanding and metaphysical interpretation. In 2026, she will serve as adjunct faculty at Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute when she's not facilitating courses locally. When not exploring the Bible, she loves to explore Unity's history, especially its development and growth here in Canada. She is grateful for the invitation to be with us today with her message. Strength doesn't always have to be hard. Please join me in welcoming licensed Unity teacher, Wendy Karr.
Thank you, George. Oh, this is my favorite part of spring. I get to see you people in person. Oh my goodness, I have missed being here. Oh. So you might be saying, Wendy, why are you talking about strength? Isn't the month's power love? Well, yes, it is. And for those of us who have been engaged with the youth ministry, those folks in Unity will switch love and strength so that love arrives in February. Because, of course, you don't want to be telling the kids about love now after Valentine's Day, right? But we do need to talk about it at all times. But I was thinking about love and strength, because I always put the two of them together. And come with me on a journey to explore that. Okay? There we I am a loving, caring presence. I think we can all say that. Maybe not 100% of the time, and that's okay. Let's be honest. Let's be in integrity. Do not like speeding transport trucks on my tail when I am also speeding and I don't want to go any faster. Blessings to you, trucker. Get around me, please. Thank you. But looking at this picture, do you feel strong about it? Do you feel there's strength in that? And yet, love is one of our strongest faculties. For those of you that might not be on a spiritual path but are unity curious, let me suggest that love is something that exists outside of the spiritual community as well. That's an emotion, a sense of being that exceeds the narrowness of religion or spirituality. And one of the things that, when I look at that, one of my first thoughts is, oh my goodness, they're so small. They're so fragile. Remember my father-in-law, who I never got to meet, but through the rest of the family, he was a family doctor, and he used to say, babies are way less fragile than you think they are. And so too for us. I think sometimes when it comes to love, we're so scared of being hurt, of having our hearts broken, that we forget that we have strength to stand behind the love, to provide that capability of being vulnerable, of allowing ourselves to be truly in love with whatever it is, whether it's a person or a pet or something like knitting or crocheting that we love to do when we get totally lost in time and space when we do it. Thinking of as spring is sprunging. I was, spring is sprung, the grass is riz. I wonder where the boidies is. There's a boidie on the wing, but no, you fool, I thought the wing was on the boyd. You guys never learned, come on, you guys never learned that one? Oh, goodness gracious me. Okay, I'm older than I thought I was. But we think about how fragile the shoots are. You know, what's with the temperature lately? I don't know about you guys, but it's like, okay, my neighbor's bringing her planter in, and then she's taking it out, and then she's bringing it in, and then she's taking it out. Because we think of it as being fragile. And I would suggest that probably it would have been okay. It didn't snow, so it didn't get that cold. But that's kind of how we treat our hearts, isn't it? Oh, well, I know you folks, so I can let my heart be open. I can allow myself to be vulnerable. I can allow myself to be in that space. But the first time I came to London, my heart's over here. It's kind of being protected because it feels scary to let that vulnerability out. But then when we think about what is the first thing that grows when you plant seeds? I'm going to pick on you, George R. What's the first thing that grows? You're razzing me. But is it not the roots? The roots come first, right? Am I? Yes, thank you. I'm asking the expert here. I'm asking the expert. So the roots come first. But what's the thing about roots, folks? They're strong, but we don't see them. We don't see them until the leaf or the stem or the whatever comes up and comes out of the soil. And it's that strong roots. I've been watching video. A tornado hit my dad's hometown. And I've been watching the video of that tornado. And the trees knocked over, But the roots are like, they're all there, and some of them are still in the ground holding on for dear life. And you look at the tree itself, that trunk is actually spun around. It actually was a spiral. It's crazy. But you could see that the roots were hanging on for dear life until the wind overpowered it. And I suspect it was more about the circling of the wind than just the general wind. But the roots are there. And you sort of find that in our lives. If you don't have those strong roots, the slightest wind can knock you over. You know, we can be in a situation where somebody says something and they mean it as a joke, and our heart just goes, wait a minute, oh my gosh, you got me. Because we haven't built the strong roots of our love, of our understanding of love, of our understanding of what it is, that it's not just limited to a romantic love, that it is expanded beyond that. I remember doing a talk years ago. I need to go back and pull out my numbers. But I remember citing that there were something like 22 different words for love that get translated out of Hebrew words, and something like 40 some odd in Greek that get translated into English simply as love. The nuance gets lost in the translation. The nuance of the love between parent and child, the nuance between teacher and disciple, the nuance between husband and wife, the nuance between husband and husband or wife and wife, the nuance between the employer and the worker, the nuance between nature and humanity. All of those nuances that exist in the Greek and the Hebrew languages get translated into English as love. So we miss that nuance, and I think that's part of our challenge, is because we just have one word to express what we think it is, we kind of miss out on things. I won't ask for a show of hands, but can any of you think of a boss that you loved, but not in a romantic way? There was something that you appreciated about them, or how they behaved, or maybe it was a teacher or a professor. But you probably wouldn't say to them, I love you. But you might say, I appreciate you. I really liked how you did something like that. So that's about getting those roots good and strong. I listen with my open mind and heart. I pull this out because most of us tend to think of love as just being a heart thing, right? That's what we're taught. I would like to submit to you that it is more than just a heart thing, that it is a mind thing as well. That in unity, when we look at our scriptures, we look at the men of the Bible as symbolic of our logic, of our intellect. We look at women of the Bible as symbolic of our feeling and intuitive nature. I would like to think that Joseph, the human parent of Jesus, was a good guy. I would like to think that he took the time to show his son a trade, that he did all the things that he, as a Jewish father, was required to do to prepare his son not only for adulthood, but for the possibility that he would be caring for his mother in her old age. Because that's what happened in those times. Behind the love is our thinking and feeling natures. And I find that as I can get those two in balance with each other, when I can get my heart to say, oh, I am so in love with that idea, and I can get my thinking nature to go, you know, it sounds crazy, but I agree with you. Anyone ever had a love story, either fictional or in their own lives, that everyone else said, oh, that is just so crazy, that just I can't believe that happened because it doesn't make sense. You look at some folks and you say, wow, how can you two be a couple? Really? Okay, yeah. Because to our intellect, which isn't always aligned with our love, it doesn't make sense. But in that couple, they have the strength that they have developed over time, the strength they individually brought to the relationship, and then the strength that comes out of that joint relationship so that the love can survive anything. Joining together your love and your strength creates amazing results. If we are to grow in spiritual awareness, we must replace fear with love for the oneness of all life. Bringing those together. I remember, who was it? Doesn't matter. I remember an early book I read in Unity was Love. Love is the opposite of fear or something like that. But the idea was that fear and love were actually the opposites, not love and sadness, but fear. What's the opposite of fear in the great classic novels and plays? Strength. So if strength and love are both opposites of fear, then let's get rid of the fear. Let's do a little algebra here. Love is to fear equals strength is to fear. Cancel out the fear on both sides. Love equals strength. There you go. Those of you that are logically inclined. The oneness of all life. If you watch any news right now, and that's a big if, it may be difficult to feel the oneness of all life. And yet, this is our time to pull our strength and our love together and be willing to be strong enough to allow that love to flow, to allow that love to encompass everything that is happening, regardless of how insane. Sorry, had to say it. My human self had to say that. And how difficult it is to watch. But as we surround our love with strength and bring the two together, it provides us with that ability to look at the oneness in the true oneness. And from our co-founder, Myrtle Fillmore, we aren't concerned about the results or outcomes, but the change in consciousness that makes the results abiding. I love that word, abiding. There's something about that just so much more gentle to my way of thinking. So, anyone do regular workouts, yoga, Pilates, stuff like that? Chair yoga, swimming, anything? Why do we do that? Why do we do repetitions? Because the muscles need to be stretched, right? They need to be stretched so they can come back. Anyone who has had a class with me will know that if your brain isn't doing a little bit of this by the time we're done, I haven't done my job because I haven't stretched your mind. Spiritually, if we want to change our consciousness and our behaviors, we need to have some repetition. We need to practice. How do you get to Carnegie Hall, folks? Practice. Thank you. And any other. How do you get to the Grand Theater? You go that way, right? And being willing to do these repetitions, being willing to smile at that person on the street corner who's asking for money. Perhaps not necessarily engaging, but just acknowledging that they're there and seeing them. That can be a stretch. one of the things I was taught in licensed teacher school was watch the news with the sound off and just pray through and send a blessing through, as George was telling us in Daily Word today. That stretching of our ability to love, that consciousness that our strength will protect us, the consciousness that our strength is there and is capable of supporting our heart. And if our heart does get broken through a passage of someone, knowing that we have the strength to get through those times. Not easy. And I'm not saying that this is easy. I come to the conclusion, maybe you have too, that spirituality is like one of the toughest exercises on the face of the earth. I always thought yoga was trying to put my legs, practically around my head and all that stuff. No, spirituality, being in integrity with our principles, is for me one of my greatest challenges. Because I recognize I don't just want to be feeling good for Sunday afternoon. I want to make the changes that will be permanent. I want the changes so that when I meet somebody at my school reunion, what do we got? Another 7 years until our next one. That they go, whoa, what happened to you since high school? Oh, I think I hit a nerve there, yes. But having that strength to be yourself, having that strength to say, you know what? I love the world with all its flaws, all of its challenges, and I don't care who knows it. I love this world. This was given to me by a student this week, and I said to her, can I steal it? And she said, of course you can. Don't deny the earthly fact, but know the spiritual truth. And that can be really hard because some of Unity's teachings are like, well, no, you've got to deny this. No, you deny the power of something over you and release whatever you can of that. But if you are in a space where a medical professional has just given you a diagnosis or prognosis, there's no sense in denying that. You can deny the power of it. But you may need to acknowledge that you're going to be going to the hospital for treatment, or you're going to need to adjust your diet because you know the spiritual truth underlying all of that, that you have the love enough and the strength enough to get through it. Sometimes it's difficult. But to me, that is the whole idea of having these 12 powers, having this strength, having this love. I gotta always get in some Eric Butterworth, you know that. You are bigger than your littleness and stronger than your weakness. And isn't that something that we don't want to admit, our seeming weakness? I haven't decided how all that plays out. And I say that not to, put myself on a pedestal, even though I guess I am, but just to say to you folks, I'm on this journey too. And there are times when things happen and I just am like, dear Christ within, what the fluff are we doing? What I just don't. And I want you to hear that, because when I was in Unity initially, our minister kind of came off as, I'm perfect and you're not. So please don't hear that. A littleness. I have a favor to ask of Jim and Nancy. Next time we can sing Seeking Ye Shall Find, I found myself singing the words I learned, which was, the love come a-tumbling down. Because yes, the trickle-in will get into all the cracks and crevices, but I think it's easier, I could be wrong, I think it's easier if you just kind of smash the wall down and rebuild it rather than trying to find all the little cracks in the mortar and where is that drip coming from? So I just put that out as something to think about. But I did love the song. That was one of my childhood songs. Hadn't sung it in ages. Remind yourself, look in the mirror. And remind yourself, in whatever language is comfortable for you, I am God in expression, I am Christ in expression, I am the divine in expression, I am me in expression. Whatever works for you. Look in the mirror and remind yourself of that. He also knew I had to put a frog in. I take refuge in God's presence and I feel safe. When your strength and your love are together, you'll feel safe. Because your heart knows that it's protected, and the strength knows that it is not inflexible, that it has that capacity to reach out in the oneness. I contribute to peace in the world. If your heart feels overwhelmed, I invite you to pause and breathe in strength. It's in the small of your back. You know how I know when I'm not doing strength properly? I feel like I've lifted without using my knees. Finding that space, finding that balance of the two. And sometimes it's not needing to be a balance. Sometimes you might need a little bit more strength, or you might need a little bit more love. But I invite you to pull the two together and see what happens. See what grows, because your roots are so strongly placed. And just before we start in our meditation, I asked Lorraine if I could read something in honor of Dorothy. Let's just take a moment, and you can look at the screen or close your eyes or lower your gaze. From Reverend James Dillett Freeman. She has put on invisibility. Dear Lord, I cannot see. But this I know, although the road ascends and passes from my sight, that there will be no night, that you will take her gently by the hand and lead her on, along the road of life that never ends. And she will find it is not death, but dawn. I do not doubt that you are here, there as here, and you will hold her dear. Our life did not begin with birth. It is not of this earth. And this that we call death is no more than the opening and closing of a door. And in your house, how many rooms must be beyond this one where we rest momently? Dear Lord, I thank you for the faith that frees, the love that knows it cannot lose its own, the love that, looking through the shadow, sees that you and she and I are ever one. Blessings on your continuing journey, Dorothy. And let us continue in a time of meditation. I invite you to take this affirmation into your heart, into your mind. Allow it to resonate in both places. I awaken to the light within that guides me to my highest good. In the silence. And in this awareness of our innate love and innate strength coming together, we affirm together, today is a new day, a day in which I lay down any fear or stress, a day in which I needn't be worried or concerned. Today, I choose to live in peace. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.
Thank you so much, Wendy. One of your better ones for sure. Loved it. And I always love the little frog she's got somewhere in that talk. Thank you so much for coming, and I know that it's a bit of a drive for you, and we appreciate having you here in our presence when you do speak. Very much appreciated. And now, another song by Jim.
Very sad today. And I hadn't realized it till Dorothy's name was mentioned. And I love Dorothy. She was such, you all knew Dorothy. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. She was such a special, special person to me because she was one of the first people when I came to Unity who reached out to me. Now, we all do that. We all do it as members of Unity. I know we do. And I hope our newcomers today feel that way, that we're so happy to have you with us, and we want to make you feel welcome. But Dorothy was one of the first to reach out to me. And so we had a very special relationship. And when Pauline sent me the note that said she had passed, I just sat there for quite a while. I didn't quite know what to say. You know that she lost her power of speech toward the end, but every Sunday when she was here, and she was here most Sundays, and most Wednesday nights too, she came to our Wednesday night concerts. I'm flipping pages here because I want to change the song that I was going to do because I hadn't realized just how much I missed Dorothy. And, she would come to the Wednesday night concerts, and again, even after she couldn't speak, of that beautiful smile that just lit up the whole room. It was so wonderful to be her friend. And I had an interesting relationship. I got shut up and played, as Karr keeps telling me, shut up and play. I have to tell you this. My mother-in-law and I had a very interesting relationship. Didn't start off well, but at the end, I loved each other. But it wasn't the kind of situation where I don't think I ever said, I love you, Mom, to her, and I don't think she ever said, I love you, Jim, to me. But what she would say to me when she was feeling sentimental, or, she'd refer to me, she'd say, my darling man. Dorothy, I don't know why, shortly after I met Dorothy, it just came out one day and it seemed appropriate, and I called her my darling girl. And every time I did that, every time for the next, how many years it was, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years. Every time I saw her, I would, oh, my darling girl, and every time she would giggle. And it was so sweet, just so sweet. Anyway, this is not the song I was going to do today, but this is a song that I know Dorothy loved. And I think it's something that if you're missing Dorothy or missing anyone, this is maybe something to be mindful of. And Wendy, right at the end of the talk, Wendy talked about this. Okay. Anyway, Dorothy loved this tune, and the first time I played the song, which was, I don't know, a few years ago now, she came up to me after the service and said, who wrote that? that's a wonderful song. And I said, well, actually, I wrote it. And she said, oh, that's even better. So, Dorothy, wherever you are, darling, my darling girl, this is for you. You can find all kinds of reasons to be cold. There's always an excuse when you stub your toe. You can rock yourself in sorrow if you choose, or you can get back up and put your life to use. And so it is, and so it is. We let life break us down or we resist. When troubles walk our way, remember there's a brighter day. The sun will shine again, and so it is. It's a choice we get to make most every day. How will we deal with things that come our way? Go like a big willow, staying strong like a mighty oak. Cry for sympathy, or go for blow. So it is, and so it is. We let life break us down, or we resist. When troubles walk our way, remember there's a brighter day. The sun will shine again, and so it is. Down on the mountain you find lots of lonely souls, people who think that every blow. But pain is only passing, so keep reaching for the stars. When trouble comes your way, just let it go. No one can guarantee an easy ride. Troubles come our way and can't be denied. We can let them beat us down, or we can move to higher ground. Leave the truth behind and learn to fly. And so it is, and so it is. We let life break us down to easy. When troubles come our way, remember there's a brighter day. The sun will shine again, so you. The sun will shine again, so
Thank you so much, Jim. One of your gems, to be sure, and such a touching tribute to Dorothy. So it's offering time. Your donations help Unity to stay alive and thriving. It's your sharing of your talents, your time, your treasures with us at Unity of London that keep us thriving as a community of spiritually uplifted individuals, united in love and fellowship. Your offerings can be made by cash, check, MasterCard, Visa, debit, using our Tithely site, or by e-transfer to unityoflondon@hotmail.com. Basically, we'll take it whichever way you can give it. Thank you very much. So we have two people going around collecting your offerings, and feel free to hold your hand over the bag and offer blessings to our offerings for today. our prosperity blessing. Let's say it together. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. So it is. We affirm prosperity and abundance for Unity of London and all spiritual communities in all forms, all realms, body, mind, and spirit. And now our announcements, and we have a lot today. Yeah, we're going to have a very busy upcoming number of weeks. The Sacred Circle is today. Please join the group here in the front of the sanctuary. And you might want to talk about Wendy's talk or whatever is on your mind, or led by our facilitator, Chuck. This week, on Friday, between 1:30 and 3, we have our Unity. It's a drop-in for tea and cookies. Bring a friend or make one when you come. Last month, we had 19 people for the Unity, including 3 men. It was really well attended. Not to say that men aren't into afternoon tea, but now on the 10th of May will be our condo lottery, and the City of London has let us know that this will be the last one that they approve in this form. So there's also, you get a week in a condo in Grand Bend on the river, and $500 for you to spend as you wish. It's a 3-bedroom, 4 bath, sleeps 6 to 8, and those who have won in the past had a great week, and I'm sure that you will too. Now, we have still probably 100 tickets left in the bag. 100 tickets is way too many to not try harder to sell. Please, I encourage all of you to talk to that cousin that you haven't talked to in a while and see if they're interested in a vacation. So please, let's put our last week or two together so that we can sell those tickets. Today is our last day that I'm going to bring the camera, unless you ask me specifically. We're preparing an update to our photo directory, so I will be taking pictures today for anyone who wants either an updated one or hasn't had one taken at all. And you do not have to be a member to have your pictures taken. I'll take pictures of anyone, and we'll include you as friends of Unity if you are not members. On the back table, there is a membership list. Please update your phone number, address, and just check what's there to make sure it's correct. If it is not correct, then you can make the correction on there or send me an email, whichever you prefer. Now, there's also another sign-up sheet back there to find out if anyone is interested in a Unity Community Garden. Now, it is going to be in the Glencairn area, and I see that Rob is here today, so if anyone has any questions, you can be sure to ask him for details. Because it's an ongoing, long-term thing, that gardens have to be planted, weeded, watered. We're looking for a minimum of 5 interested parties so that they could share the work. And if we don't get enough people, then we will not move forward with this project. So if you are interested, the sign-up sheet's on the back. And by the way, the produce that is gained through the garden will be up to the gardeners to determine what happens with it, whether they take it home for their own food or whether they wish to share it with anyone is totally up to the gardeners. May the 8th, we're going to have another movie night. This one is going to be Conversations with God. This is actually the story of Neil Donald Walsh, and I saw it years ago, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it again because it had such an impact on me at the time. There will be food and movies. So hot dogs, regular and vegan, fried onions and all the fixings, dessert, popcorn, snacks, beverages, $10 each for the food and the movie. You can bring comfy chairs if you choose. Please come and join us May 8th. May 9th is Dawn's last cooking class. The other two went quite well. I don't see Dawn, but anyway, I was wondering whether she will let you know if she's got a menu item for that time if you're interested. It has been a community event as well, so we do have some members from Soho coming to join. Saturday, May 16th, we are going to have a plant and bake sale on the front garden there, on the front lawn. We are looking for volunteers to work at the sale, donations of plants, gardening, and planting materials, donated baked goods. And the items can be brought to Unity Sunday, Friday, or Saturday morning of the sale. Wednesday music night. And wasn't that amazing this last Wednesday? Oh my goodness. We had a Wednesday combo. We had 65 meals that we served. Yeah. And Jim had over 90 people for his concert. That's a record. Over 90 people. We had to bring in a couple of extra chairs. There were so many. There is a concert May 29th. Our very own, very impressive Dr. Paul Luftenegger is going to be giving a healing concert here at Unity. It is the 29th at 7 p.m. Ticket prices are $40, and that's the picture of his latest CD that he has just released last fall called Sunshine. All right. Now we move to the prayer for protection. Please join with me. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. The presence of God watches over me. I am the power. Sorry, I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Yea, God. And now for our peace song. Thank you for your presence here today. Go in peace. And those who wish to leave at this time, do so quietly. And we will continue with our fellowship and talking to those who are on Zoom. Would anyone like to share? Anyone like to give any comments for Wendy?